Oli the Goalie Tech Reviews. Today's video is about how the Google Pixel Fold, the OG, the original, is still absolutely relevant in late 2025, almost 2026. I love the phone, I love the features, and I certainly love the form factor. Stick around. Welcome back to Oli the Goalie Tech Reviews. Today we're talking about the Google Pixel Fold, the OG, the original version. Now, there was a lot of discussion and some good things and bad when it first came out. To be quite honest with you, when I originally had this phone, I absolutely loved it. And why did I love it so much? Well, it reminded me a lot of my absolutely favorite phone at that time, the Microsoft Surface Duo. Of course it had shortcomings. Of course it wasn't the greatest phone technically, but the hardware in this phone was absolutely incredible. The dual screens were fantastic. The way this phone opened and closed the hinge was just so velvety smooth and incredibly well built, for the lack of a better word. I absolutely love this. And then of course they came out with the Surface Duo 2, and then Microsoft just kind of ended up actually abandoning the product. So I was sad about that. Then comes along the rumors of Google bringing out their own foldable phone. So for a while there, we were waiting to hear about it. We weren't really sure what was going to happen, and then certain things started to leak. And the first thing that piqued my attention was the idea that perhaps the Google Pixel Fold was going to be in the same passport style or design as the Microsoft Surface Duo, just upping the game and the features as far as what the phone itself could do. Of course, talking about the idea of the dual screen on the inside, the fact that the screen was not interrupted with a crease down the middle. I mean, the crease obviously is there, but unlike the Duo, it was a one-piece internal screen. The uninterrupted internal screen, you can see some pretty serious glare there. One of the features, or one of the most talked about things about this phone. Better cameras, obviously, better battery technology, better charging ability, like all of these different things. And what we ended up getting was really, in my opinion, a beautiful phone. Again, in the passport design, similar to the Surface Duo, which I absolutely loved. Mediocre really at best. Charging abilities, wireless and wired. The battery, at first was not really well received. It does get better with time and usage. So there were things that the phone really kind of fell short on. But what absolutely won my heart in the sense of the actual design was the passport design. Two things actually. The passport design of the phone, and how in fact the Google Pixel Fold mimicked the hinge system that was on the Surface Duo. Again, one of the things that I felt was absolutely the best thing about that phone. All of a sudden, we have this hinge system that works very similarly on the the Google Pixel Fold. So, and when you think about it, how this fold works and opens and closes is absolutely fantastic and really tough to beat. And in fact, even to today's date, I still think this is the best hinge system on any phone currently on the market. Lots of people still talk about, the snapping closed of these new hinge systems on these new phones. And again, I guess it just depends on what you like. But I absolutely love the hinge system on the Google Pixel Fold, making it, in my opinion, one of the nicest and smoothest opening and closing phones out there. Still to this date, still not beaten. And this phone is over 2 years old, for that matter. So absolutely fantastic hinge system. The crease is a little deep. So all of those new phones, the crease is certainly a lot less noticeable. If you look at the front of this phone, and you can actually see it in this video, I've actually applied a matte type screen protector on it, and it has limited the reflection on the front of the screen. It's a pretty glossy front screen, as is the glossiness of the inside or internal screen. You know, I did buy an internal matte screen protector for this phone, and it actually did a very good job in reducing what you see in the crease on this phone. The problem was it kept not sticking when you opened and closed it. So I've ordered a new one that is apparently a little bit better, but it will certainly help reduce that sort of the idea of seeing the crease. Now, I am 100% completely over the fact that there's a crease there. It doesn't bother me at all, even with the glare of this screen. So not a real big issue for me in the sense of one of the big knocks of this phone when it first came out, which was that glare internally, the glare on the screen, and of course the crease. A part of that crease being there a little deeper than most phones is because of the system that this phone uses when it comes to the hinge, which again I'll take all day long over the other hinges and the reduced crease, because to be quite honest, as I said earlier, that crease doesn't bother me at all. So when you talk about some of the other features that were glaring on this phone, one being battery and charging. It is pretty slow. I think it charges wirelessly at like 14 watts or some ridiculous thing. The numbers to me honestly mean nothing. And the reason I say that is because I basically put it on the charger when I need it. It charges up, and you know, within an hour and a bit I'm ready to go. And for the most part I don't let it drain down enough that I have to give it the full charge. Except at the end of the day, and I put it on the charger at night, and of course when I wake up in the morning everything's good. So even the idea of the charging being a little slower than most, a lot slower to be honest, doesn't bother me at all, because again it makes absolutely no difference to me. As far as the battery lasting the day, for the most part, now I got this phone, by the way, I should mention, I got this phone on Best Buy Marketplace, absolutely brand new. And so it was, you know, as like any other new phone, the phone took some time to learn my habits and charging and all of that sort of thing. And now I'm at a point where the battery is running quite nicely and by far getting me through the day as much as I need. So again, another knock on the phone being the battery, absolutely no issues whatsoever in a sense of how that, you know, lasts through the day for me. I am wearing my West Shore RFC jacket. My kid had a game today, and they did very well, handily beat the team that they played against from Oak Bay, but it was a great game. So this is kind of in honor of them, and I will continue to wear this for the remainder of the video. So again, going back to the battery, really no issues there for me. I absolutely am 100% happy with that. I guess the other thing that some people, you know, had a I don't know if it was a complaint or not, was the thickness of the phone. And ironically, I sold my Honor Magic V3 to get this phone. And of course, you know, the Honor Magic V3, one of the thinnest phones on the market, slightly beaten by the V5 and maybe the Samsung Z Fold 7. But I don't really notice it. I mean, I actually really like this phone, the thickness of the phone, the build of the phone. You know, going back to the build of the phone, this is a pretty heavy phone. Again, another, maybe not complaint, but something discussed and talked about when it first came out. And quite honestly, I actually love the weight of this phone. I love that this thing feels good, heavy, strong, in your hands. And a lot of phones today just don't. You feel like you know, you're so worried about opening it, and is it gonna break apart and all these kind of things. So even when you unfold this phone, you get that feeling that, there's some strength there and that you don't have any concerns. Yes, it still doesn't open completely flat unless you kind of force it. Again, I'm quite fine with it being, a degree or two off of being perfectly flat. It doesn't really bother me. So that's again something that was at one point a concern. Today, end of 2025, almost 2026, really no concern in my books. Something that is not an issue. I did purchase a ladder case. I was finding that AliExpress was having a real difficulty in finding one of these cases. A part of it is because of the fact that, of course, it's 2 and a bit years old. They're not selling them as much anymore. But I also wanted a screen protector that covered, a case that actually covered the camera island as well, so that you could put this thing down without any concerns. And the ladder case did that. Quite happy with the ladder case. It's a great case. I don't use the front part. To me, it's not a big issue. I have my matte screen protector on the front. So again, with all the light, you have no issues. But the ladder case, rear case works incredibly well. Super, super thin. Maybe if I can get this thing off. I don't usually have this much difficulty, right? So the case is literally like razor thin. Barely adds any heft to the phone itself with the case on, which is what I want. I want something that's going to somewhat protect the case, the phone, pardon me, but not add too much heft to it. And that's exactly what this case does. So hats off to Ladder Case for really a great case. In my opinion, a little bit overpriced, but it's protection, and that's really what I'm looking for. Back to the phone. So, some of the things we were talking about, power or charging, battery life has been great. The screen and the crease really don't bother me. The hinge, in my opinion, still one of the best hinges, if not the best hinge on any phone at this time. I know there are a lot of people that will disagree with me when we talk about, again, going back to all these new phones and their snapping and ability to, they kind of snap close at the end. I could care less about that. I love the fluidness, just how smooth this thing feels when you open and close it. Again, I had a Z Fold 7, I had the V3, I've had many phones in between, Oppo, I've had, the OnePlus. So I've had a lot of the foldable phones. Without question, no doubt, this is my absolute favorite foldable phone that I've ever used, even 2+ years later. Again, I think I touched on this earlier, why I went back to this phone. I absolutely love the Surface Duo. I love that passport design. This phone really, minus some of the shortcomings, was such a great phone. Well, the Google Pixel Fold is very similar. I love when I open it. It opens right into landscape mode versus portrait, right? Now, there are some issues with some apps when opening the phone. They do have an issue with just how they're rendered on the landscape versus the portrait. But I'll be honest with you, not enough, again, to really create any problems. I have the Bench app. I use that for my hockey. I'm a goalie and play, pickup hockey. The Bench app will not open on this phone. I don't know why. I've got a ticket open with Bench to try and get that fixed because it's very frustrating. But for some reason, it just won't open. As a matter of fact, here, I will unlock the phone and show you. So if I go into Bench and I hit the app, it kind of sits there for a sec and then boop, disappears. If you do it again, usually it'll do the same thing, but this time it will say, Bench app, keep stopping, close app. So there are some issues, even still 2+ years later, with apps not running properly. So it's a bit frustrating. I've had a little bit of technical issues with Android Auto and my Nissan Ariya. the microphone, you'll say, "Hey Google," which is probably going to set this thing off now. And what'll happen is it'll beep, and then you'll go to say something, and then it'll beep again and shut down, not giving you an opportunity to actually speak. So I'm not sure if it's the phone or if it's the car, because I've taken out the phone and done it through the phone, and it seems to have worked fine. But I reset the phone and then rerun it again through Android Auto on my car, and it works fine. So that's a real tricky one. Other than that, all apps work without any issues. Yes, some apps you will still use as they open. Some you will stretch out and use it in the widescreen mode because it just fills the screen and it looks good. But I do find that there are a few, if you set the default, they work better, they just look nicer, and they are more smoother and work, like I say, just a little bit better. The last thing I'll touch on is the camera. I think again, is it the best camera on the market? No, it's not. It's got 20 times zoom. But what I do find are the pictures that this thing takes are really nice. So, when I go into the camera app and I take pictures, and I'll show you some examples here. I start off with the wide angle, the 0.6, and it looks great. And then I switch to the 1 times, and then the 2 times, and then of course the 5 times, so that's your optical. And then of course you go into the digital from there and up to 20 times. So here's some examples of that. And I find that the picture quality is fantastic. I don't see any reason why I would need to spend more money on a phone to get a better camera. For the most part, this camera serves me fantastically well. So again, a couple more examples of the 0.6, the 1, the 2 times, and the 5 times. Again, more than efficient and sufficient for me, completely happy with the camera. So I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of Google Pixel Fold owners like me that absolutely love this phone and still use it today and will not trade it in until the thing dies, because it is that amazing and fantastic. And to be quite honest with you, I don't understand why there aren't more people like that, because it really is that great of a phone. Again, are there some technical shortcomings? We've already touched on those. There are a few, but again, nothing to make this phone, not usable. I just recently got, I'm just going to go into my settings to About Phone, because I just recently got, what did I get here? Android version 16 with the upgrade, so I think I'm on the BP3A 251105015 version, running very smooth, very well. Yeah, so all in all, that's really all I wanted to say about this on this video. If you're like me and you love the Surface Duo, this is the closest thing that you're going to get to getting that Surface Duo, but with the newest technology, with the actual full internal screen and that sort of thing, uninterrupted. I was sorely, sorely disappointed when the Fold 2 came out, because it was at that point we realized they had given up on the Passport design and went to basically what looked like a OnePlus open phone. I mean, it didn't look any different. As a matter of fact, I'm certain that maybe OnePlus made that phone. Who knows? Not sure, but possible. So, and yeah, that was disappointing, because I was really looking forward to seeing what they could do on the next version of this, very much like when Microsoft decided to dump the Surface Duo. So there are those that will tell you that the Google Pixel Fold 10 Plus Pro Super Duper is a great phone, and I'm sure that it is. I just absolutely love the form factor. The form factor is the thing that's made me stay with this phone and love this phone as much as I do. I just don't like that tall design. I find it very hard to reach up to the top of the phone and be able to do everything. What I really love about this phone is that I can access, especially when it's on the main screen like this, I can access basically the whole panel with my thumb without even having to worry about, moving the phone around or anything like that. And to me, easeability of use is what a phone is all about. And this phone has it in spades. So I will say absolutely 100% my most favorite phone. I'm so glad that I got rid of the V3 and came to this. The fact that it was as cheap as it was also really helped. So guys, if there are any questions, comments, do you like the Google Pixel Fold? Do you hate it? Are you still a user of that phone, and why? Please put that in the comments. Don't hesitate to subscribe. I just want to thank everybody who has for building my channel to over 1,000 subscribers. I'm completely blown away by that. Like the channel or like the video. Subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications. Most of all, just thanks for watching. To me, this is a hobby, and I absolutely love doing it. And I love the fact that you all watch my videos and enjoy them with me. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for the subscribers. My next push is to 1,500. I'd love to see me get to 1,500 subscribers. I think I'm sitting at about 1,015 right now. So we got a bit of ways to go. Once again, thanks so much for watching, you guys. If you get a chance to pick up a Pixel Fold, the OG, the original, at the seriously reduced prices that they're out there right now, do pick it up. It is an amazing phone, and you will absolutely love it. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.